Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, it is warm out here. Very warm out here. I'm gonna walk down, do my little Hollywood run to Target. I'm sore, man. Body is really sore. I've been for the last 2 days doing my crunches. I told you I've been incorporating new crunches into my workouts, and then I immediately go into butterfly kicks on the ground, where you put your hands behind your head and then you kick your legs out like you're doing bicycle kicks is what they call them, bicycle kicks. And that's a lot of strain on my gut. I did it the first night, didn't have any problems. Did it last night, and really had some soreness there. So just my V muscle area is really hurt, particularly the right down there is really tough. And when I try to like bend down, I feel it in my back as well. So I've been down this road before. I know exactly what I'm in for, and it's a matter of strengthening the body once again. I've had these muscles before, so it shouldn't be much for me to get them back, but they did disappear and it wasn't pretty. So I had to do something about that. And so that's really what it is, man. Focusing on certain parts of my body and neglecting others. And even though you're getting exercise in, it's still not making you look very good because of it. So that's why they always say switch it up. And you do your workouts, don't always focus on one thing only, because there's other stuff that needs to get worked. So yeah, man, I'm dealing with that. I figured taking this walk, doing my whole little routine should probably make me get back into a space where it doesn't hurt as much, because it was sore last night to the point where I was having a hard time laying comfortably. It really was bad, waking up with spasms and stuff like that. So it's like, yo, I had a lot to do today. I knew that, so it wasn't gonna be no laying in bed. So I did my laundry, took care of all that, no problems with the machine. Let's go round, and now I'm getting out. So that's really what it is for me, man. Other than that, everything's going smoothly. Still waiting on them to send back the $100 from my deposit, and so that's something I'm looking forward to having returned into my account very soon. Hopefully it does. And what else? That's really what it is, man. Just kind of enjoying the fact that today's Laker Day. Got my Laker shirt on because we are back as a franchise. We got our first preseason game. I told everybody it was in Pittsburgh, but the link to the team building where they're going to be playing was a lie. I guess the football stadium that the Steelers play at and the name of the stadium that the Lakers are going to be at are the same name. So when you click on the link to find out where the Lakers are playing, it tells you they're playing in Pittsburgh. But when you look up that arena, you find out it's a football arena. So that's what ended up happening there. I wasn't really sure what the hell was going on there. And I was a little frustrated about it, but at least I left room for me to be wrong instead of just telling everybody it's for certain in Pittsburgh. So that was a little embarrassing, but the link is still telling you it's in Pittsburgh. If you click on what I clicked on, that's exactly what it says. So yeah, that's that. But the game is actually in Palm Springs, which makes it make all more sense. Given the fact the game's at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, I can't imagine any Pittsburgh people are going to be seeing the Lakers and the Wolves without Bron playing tonight at no 10:30 at night. Hell no. So sometimes you got to critical think your way through things. A link may be wrong. Sometimes you just got to get a second opinion or a fact check something or think around something. Just because something gives you information, you click on something that gives you information, does not mean that information is any good. And so that's that. What else is going on? I think my video from yesterday, or was it the day before when I mentioned? I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. It might have been the day before. But when I was saying that, people in America are starting to wake up to the idea that Israel is occupying our country, its government, very unsafe and unhealthy way, and that people who are suffering in the East Coast of Helena, the storm that just came through, those people who are suffering that are going to start waking up to the understanding that they need to be involved in changing that process, and that this storm is going to help them see clearly why they should be up in arms about how their government is operating. And I think that ages very well. When I look up this morning, there's some footage of this gentleman screaming about how his state is underwater or whatever, and a lot of the people, the military people, are not being allowed to come home. Some of them who have children who have been stuck in this storm, some of them whose children may have passed away, they ain't letting them leave because they got to go to Israel and fight for Israel's freedom, or whatever the hell they're lying about. And as he said it, the way he described it was, Anglo-Americans and Scots-Irish Americans are being stuck and in this situation and not being allowed to come home. And it spoke to the understanding, as I said, like, with all due respect to anybody who this doesn't apply to, white people care about white people. They don't care about nobody else. And when you start treating them like you treat everybody else, then it's a problem. And that is ultimately what the undertones of his statement was. He's like, this Israel thing don't have nothing to do with us. White Americans are dealing with this storm. That's what we care about. It's essentially what he was saying, paraphrasing. I'm like, well, that's your problem right there. That's why these people are able to weasel into your government, because they use that right there as a means of patronizing you. That's how it works. They patronize you in such a way that allows you to think that everything's about you and that you're the most important thing in the world. And then from there, they weasel their way into their government and they sell themselves to the highest bidder, and the highest bidder is Israel. If y'all gave a damn about other things other than yourselves, and you weren't so high and mighty in your supremacy, you would have been humble enough to pay attention to these things that pointed you in this direction in the first place. It's the people who were decent enough to care about things that had nothing to do with them that were allowed the opportunity to pay attention, or rather allowed the opportunity to be privy to what it is that is ultimately showing us all what the hell it is. It's you nationalists, and you only care about my people that aren't paying attention to what's going on in Palestine, so you don't have the context to understand just how occupied your country is. You see how having compassion for something that doesn't relate to you aligns you with the path to know what the hell is actually coming against you? The very thing that you're trying to do is protect yourself. And the very thing that would have showed you how best to protect yourself is nestled in spaces you don't give a damn about because you only care about yourself. You see how that works? And people think there's no God. That is on purpose. He sent that storm on purpose so that your intentions of learning would actually be turned on. So that you would then pay attention to the thing that he's showing the rest of his compassionate individuals who are not waiting for something to come to their own doorstep to start feeling unhappy about what they're seeing. We get privy to the truth about the circumstance. Because everything in this Palestine thing has already shown us that you can't trust your government. It's already shown us that they got intentions that are wicked in nature. And if you care about some kids that are just not your own kids, you would have already been appalled at what your government's been doing. You didn't start caring until it started happening to you. And that's why you're the last one to find out what has happened to you. And that is a metaphor for a bigger problem. Everybody's so up in arms about their identity politics. And this type of stuff is what these idiots who have bigger pictures in mind use to gain your trust while not being trustworthy. It's exactly what they exploit. You want to wave your flag? You think your people are the best and the only ones that matter? You really don't care what happens to anybody else? Then you're not privy to what it is that's actually going on. Because they can always tell you what they want you to hear, what you think you want to hear, so that they can keep your trust while doing stuff they have no business doing. This is the truth. And you're nestled in this space and have been in this space for as long as this country's been doing what it's doing. I don't care if it's about my people. We care about us first. America first. Oh, that's why your ass don't know what's going on in other places that affect you. You think this Israel thing ain't got nothing to do with you? They're using your money to do it. This Israel thing has everything to do with you because you're funding it. But you're not privy to that information. You're not privy to that context because you're too busy looking out for your own damn interests. That's the problem with America. That's what's the problem with us. We only care about ourselves and our money. It's people who have bigger picture ideas that ultimately have an understanding of what it is that actually is going on. Stop waiting for it to come to your doorstep. And this ain't limited to white supremacy, friends. They're black people too. Other races too. You only care about what's going on in your neighborhood. You only care about what happens with your people. And you don't see the proof of any reason to care. Eventually, God's going to force what it is that you're paying attention to be shifted so that you can see clearly in regards to that. And that's exactly what just happened to a lot of middle America right now. They didn't give a damn about what was going on in the Palestine situation. And so the Lord ended up kicking them in the back. Here you go. Now you care? When they sending your brothers over to Israel and sending all your money to Israel when you need it the most. They sending your ass $7,500, I believe it is. Because FEMA only has that amount of budget to give to these people in this storm situation. Yeah, $7,500 in this economy. While the ports are simultaneously being shut down. Ports are being shut down by the workers who refuse to go to work for reasons that are, we don't even really know what the truth is about why 45,000 port workers all stopped working at once. But at the same time, the American government want to give people who are suffering from the ills of tragedy and climate change $7,500. That'll roughly take care of hotel room for about 2 weeks. You feel me? It'll roughly take care of that. Maybe they might be able to buy themselves a couple meals in the process. That's about it. And meanwhile, they're sending $7 billion over to freaking Israel, $8 billion over to Ukraine, $400 million over to Taiwan, and they're letting Americans suffer at the same time. Meanwhile, your presidential candidates, who one you're supposed to be choosing between the evil of, lesser of two evil, they both trying to compete with who loves Israel the most. Why? Because they give a shit about you. They're trying to impress those who are paying them. The propaganda is pointed at making sure that the Zionist Jew community is happy. Not your American ass. Not your white nationalist, us first ass. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. You don't move the needle as much as the Jew. Not the real Jew. The Zionist Jew. Because they know that's who's putting them in office. They know who's paying the bills. They know who moves the needle in regards to which one of these idiots, genocidal maniacs, get to be president going forward. You got Lindsey Graham, who's literally the governor, if I'm not mistaken, of South Carolina, one of the states hit by this damn thing. He talking about, yeah, people in South Carolina, I'm walking around there, they losing sleep. But what about Israel? They're running out of bullets. They can't continue to kill children. I mean, they can't defend themselves from those who want to hold them accountable for killing children, or whatever the hell that is. And I'm telling you right now, that man knows exactly what's going on in them states. He just don't give a shit because he ain't never cared about none of that. He never did care about his state. He never did care about his race. He was saying all that stuff, whatever it was, to get people to vote for him so he can be in position to catch them AIPAC checks. That's all it was about. And you put me in office, then I can be privy to being a lapdog, a paid lapdog. That's what it's about. That's the game. That's how politicians make money. You vote them in, and that qualifies them for the free checks. That's it. That's the game. If you think it's anything more than that, you're not paying attention to what we're paying attention to. Nobody running the country. Big business runs the country. And who's got the big money? Israel's paying in the politics. Israel owns big business in a lot of cases. Israel is the ones who ultimately your country is really trying to cater all for. $3,500. $3,500 per Israeli citizen is what is ultimately being given to them in the form of bullets and bombs while you simultaneously drown from this storm. That's what the math tells us. $3,500 per person. And I guess my heart's supposed to go out to you because you were too damn selfish to give a shit about anything other than yourself. And now you get to pay for that. You get to see how evil the people that you voted in, thinking about yourself, who were patronizing you as you were thinking about yourself, actually are. You get to see what they are about. Because Lord knows you weren't going to pay no attention to it unless it was pointed in your direction. Lord knows you didn't care about nobody, children, but your own. So now that y'all's is starting to drown, now it's like, oh my God, where's the humanity? This is what I've been talking about. The humanity is when you start realizing that something is happening to somebody else. You know what Lindsey Graham told these people? After he finished having that little statement about people losing sleep, but it's okay because Israel's the one who really needs us right now? Essentially what I heard, and maybe I'm getting mixed up. I don't know if it was Lindsey who said this, so I don't want to get it wrong. But the point was, they were saying in order for us to keep the war from coming our way, the war that Israel's engaged in, we got to provide them the bombs to fend off their enemies so they don't come around and kill us. That's essentially what the narrative is that if we don't help Israel wipe out Iran or whoever else they want to kill, then Iran's going to turn around and wipe us out. I'm supposed to believe that shit, but I'm not supposed to believe that if I continue to pay into Israel and you allow them to wipe out the Palestinians, they're going to turn their attention to us and wipe us out. I'm not supposed to think that doesn't apply to that angle, right? It's just like when you guys come to the aid of the Ukrainian people. Oh, Ukraine's going through so much. It's such a horrible thing. Oh my God, where's the humanity for the Ukrainians? And then I turn to the Palestinians. It's like, well, I mean, you know, it's Hamas. Hamas is using human shields, so this is just what's necessary. Israel has a right to defend itself. I'm not supposed to apply that logic over here, am I? It only matters when it's people that you're aligned with. It's only matters when it's people that's paying you, right? They didn't care about nothing at all but yourselves, and that is why you're faced with what you're faced with. That's why you didn't see it coming. Y'all, racism be kicking y'all ass. I've been telling people this for a long time. Racism be kicking y'all ass. And this is what I was referring to, more or less. Keeps you in the dark. It keeps you only focused on one angle, the angle that matters to you. When there's a million different angles connected to you that you don't even see. If you really care about yourself, you're going to care about your reputation. If you're going to care about your reputation, you're going to let compassion lead the way. That's what's going to give you the best reputation. I've been preaching this for over a year now. You got to look at things a bit broader than you're allowing yourself to. If Israel doesn't want people to hate them all over the world, they're going to stop this genocide that's making everybody hate them all over the world. If they want to be safer, they say they want to make themselves safer. Stop creating enemies. Stop making it so that people are passionate about seeing you off the earth. You don't see that angle, do you? Because you're too busy trying to be aggressive and killing off all your enemies that you don't realize you're making new ones by doing so. Believing all these false narratives about who's a bad guy and who's more important than who else, that you allow yourself to get back into a situation where the whole world is protesting against you. The whole world can't wait to see most of your people in situations that otherwise you can't get out of negatively. You don't want that. You don't want the reality of that, but you're too busy caught up in the I care about me, and this is what we're taught it looks like when we care about ourselves. This is what it says in our book. And everybody else is underneath our thumb, but then you want to talk about you want to be safe. Well, one thing don't equal another, friends. And you can stay in that space of culture if that culture is continuing to pull you into a space of not being safe, and you think that the most important thing to you is being safe, then tell me where the culture fits in with that narrative. Might as well line up in front of a firing squad. Just how safe you are for doing that. But you ain't none the wiser because you're too busy following tradition. You ain't none the wiser because you're too busy following religion. You're too busy doing the same old stuff that never worked for anybody who did it before you. You think you're going to take somebody's land, they ain't going to be upset about it. Like, ain't nobody going to see that and be unhappy with you because you've done it. Like, that's supposed to yield good results in the eyes of others. Like, what type of blind walk are you on that you would think that even makes any kind of sense whatsoever? Some point in time we got to say, if this doesn't take me where I'm going, then I need to get off this path. If I want to be safe, I can't create enemies. If I want my country to be run by people with integrity, I can't hire people that are going to patronize me as I engage in I only care about me campaigns. If I want to be safe, I can't do stuff that makes people hate me. That's going to make people hate me. And there's always going to be haters. There's going to be people who hate the fact that I'm trying to make myself safe in the most compassionate way. I can't do nothing about that. But as it pertains to everybody, literally everybody looking at me and saying I'm a bad guy who deserves to die, yeah, I can do something about that. Get off this high horse about me being willing to do anything to anybody and they can't do nothing to me and everybody's supposed to accept that. That's how I keep myself from being hated by the entire damn world. Maybe you should try it. Maybe that'll yield them the results they think war will. If you want to call it a war, those who are paying attention to it call it damn genocide. Call it complete and utter terrorism and bullying. And at some point in time, we got to look around and say, man, this isn't getting us where we want to go. And the people who are telling us the truth do not hate us. The people who are telling us the truth are trying to keep us from falling into spaces that hurt everybody. It's the people who are lying to us that hate us. It's the people who don't give a damn about us that ultimately provide what comes of hating someone. Your Lindsey Grahams and your AOCs and all these individuals who have pledged their love and devotion to fucking Israel, excuse my language, while you suffer. An Israel that doesn't want to do anything but impose its supremacy upon everyone else and its ill-wise intentions upon people that they really can't be harmed by if not for them provoking them. There's no wisdom attached to any of it. And we're following those people because they got money, because they're paying. It's literally it seems. Although I think there's more to it than that. But on the surface, it just seems like whoever can give them a check, whoever can pay these politicians and keep their secrets intact, combination of both of those things, I'd imagine, keep them all moving in a direction that allows them to put Israel first. Israel first. And I know Americans are dying, but what about our friends? If that ain't telling you what you need to do, I don't know what is. Lindsey Graham is dry snitching by way of his actions right there, telling us exactly how bad it's gotten. And I think that might be the intention of what he's trying to do, low key. Blink twice if you're not safe type stuff. I'm telling you, man. Some of these dudes, they know damn well they weren't raised to do this. Let's just be honest. Israel ain't had control of our government for no 200 years. These people ancestors did not raise them to do this, to give our country away. They didn't do that. A lot of these people have turned against the values that they were taught. Even if them values are pointed against people like myself, They weren't supposed to be selling their own people down the river and their own country down the river, bro. That was never supposed to happen. They betrayed some values that they were given. Values that they swore they'd never betray for no reason. And they want us to be fine with it. And I'm telling you, I don't want to sink because of them. Because they didn't lost sight of how to maneuver the boat. I don't want to sink because of that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not unwise in that way. I know better than to sell my country down the river to individuals that think they're the most important thing in the world. I know better than that. And the sad thing is a lot of those in our government on both sides of the political party are not wiser than that. Either they're too compromised to engage in that wisdom, or just too evil to give a damn about anything other than what it is that aligns their pockets, and been promised a bunch of bullshit they shouldn't believe, which is another big part of that. That's a big part of that. Them believing the word of people who said they'll keep their secrets, people who said they'll allow them to do this and that once they establish what it is that they're building. That belief is unwise in and of itself. These people are killing babies. They're lying. They cheating everywhere they go. And you think, American politician, that you can trust these people with whatever it is they told you they was going to do for you? Why are you that fucking stupid? And I know I'm using the F word a little more, but it's time to start. It's time to show some real passion about what it is we're talking about. Tell me why somebody who's intelligent enough to move their way through the political system in the way that they do would be as unwise as to trust a liar with the things that matter the most to them. Their money, their future, their political spacing. Why do you trust them, U.S. Congress? Who's to say they're not going to go back on what it is that they told you? Who's to say they're not going to snatch all that money up from you on the back end? They're a bunch of cheaters, liars, and stealers, thieves. They steal land that doesn't belong to them, and they believe they're deserving of it. They believe Gentiles are worth less than nothing. And everybody who's not them is a damn Gentile. What makes you think they're not going to use what it is they have to take back what it is they've promised? Should we not expect that at this point? When they're telling everybody in Rafah to go to certain safe zones, and then they bomb those safe zones as soon as they get there. And you trying to tell me that my government should trust that they're going to keep their word or not snatch back what they've given to those very same government officials? Why hasn't that thought crossed your minds? President Biden, Harris, Graham, AOC, why hasn't that crossed your mind that these people are going to betray you as soon as they get everything from you that they intend to? Why is that not in your heads? When the evidence is everywhere for us to see that these people are not to be trusted on any level. That's the part that is mind-blowing more than anything else. Even more so than the fact they allow children to die while they pay for it. What's more mind-blowing is thinking that the Israelis are going to keep their word. That part, I have no answer. I don't know how the hell the devil is able to sneak them into that space. How Satan find a way to sneak in to that degree, to where you looking at a liar and you sitting there like, yeah, he gonna do exactly what I tell. Yeah, he gonna do exactly what he tell me he gonna do. If you don't think Netanyahu and his band of nut jobs aren't going to betray those government officials who are up there clapping for their asses as they continue to kill children, then damn it, this is about to be funny for all of us who are anticipating that. It's going to be real funny. That's about to be hilarious. When they start picking them off one by one because they know too much or what have you. That's going to be real funny. Or they start releasing their secrets that they ultimately think they have under control so long as they continue to do what these people tell them. That's going to be hilarious. Yeah, some of us see that part coming. You trusted a liar. A lot of y'all are trying to keep your own people from holding you accountable, when it's really the people that you trusted that's ultimately going to turn their back on you, which is why all these things that y'all trying to do are never going to work out. You think they're going to let you control anything, America? They're not letting you control yourself. You can't even control your own army. They're forcing you to send your army overseas to fight for their causes. You think they're going to be honorable to your government officials who ultimately are allowing this to happen? They don't respect you. They do not respect you. You are gumshoes to them. You don't even have enough backbone to stand up for your own land. What you think they doing? They're trying to control you so that they can control the land that ain't even theirs. And you won't even defend yours, and you think you're going to have their respect? You think they're going to keep their word to you? Idiots. There's people out here killing babies in the name of taking land that's not theirs, and you think they're going to respect you as you let them do it with your money. Just be smart. Be smart. That's why I'm telling the people, anybody who listen to me, listen, man. We got some really unwise people at the top of this thing who are only concerned with what's in front of them as it pertains to what they're hoping will take place. Their secrets being kept, their little $5 million continue to be funded in their little accounts or whatever the hell they think they got secure. None of that shit is secure. Israel gonna take it all back from them. Every coin, you're gonna give it back. Let me make this very clear to America. Anything that you gave Israel, they're going to take it back. Anything that they gave you, they're going to take it back. They're going to keep what you give them, and they're going to take back what you ultimately took from them. There's nothing, absolutely nothing you can do to keep these people at bay. If they control your army, they control your land. And if they're willing to take over that land, what makes you think they ain't going to take over this one? Wake up. You think their ambition stops with the Middle East? America's the prize. And they're moved off the notion that they are the most important people. They're going to send us back to the damn Stone Ages. They're going to send us back to slavery days with the way that they operate. You can see that in the way they're willing to treat these Palestinian people. And it's going to be people like us, people on the streets, that are going to have to be the first line and last line of defense. Because it ain't going to be your army. It ain't going to be none of that. It's going to be us beating the shit out of settlers as they come over here dancing around. I know it is. I know it. I can see that's what's going to be in other places as well. Because they think they control the earth. They think they own the earth. That's the reality of it. They've spoiled these people in such a way and backed them on every play to the point where they think they should be able to feel comfortable anywhere they go as they do the worst things possible to anyone. They got all the Western colonies behind them. They're coming. They're coming to a neighborhood near you. Ask Ukraine. They're already there right now. 14,000 of them. While y'all worried about other people coming over as illegal aliens, it's going to be Israeli settlers that are going to really be the ones that kick y'all out of your jobs, that kick you out of your spaces of comfort, that come into your neighborhoods and impose their influence on those neighborhoods. That's what's going to happen. Because they're allowing, the whole world is basically allowing them to think that they can do it and that they should feel comfortable anywhere they go. Just like the betrayal of our government should be anticipated, so should the expansion of settler empires and colonies. See it coming. Terrorists, real ones. Not the ones you've painted out to be the bad guys, but the ones who actually are doing the bad stuff. They're coming. And they're going to have full autonomy to do whatever the hell they want because these governments don't give a damn about anybody but them, apparently. Yeah, you're going to find out what I'm talking about ain't bullcrap. Y'all going to find out. Ukraine finding out right now. And there's going to be many other places they go dancing around doing that same thing. And they're going to expect that you're supposed to bow to them. And if you don't, they're going to be aggressive about it. See it coming. See it coming. Because y'all paying into it. You might as well see it coming. You're funding it with your tax dollars. You're funding it with your patronism of the companies that they own. You are funding it. By working for them, you are funding it. They coming. And they don't respect you. They do not respect you, America. They don't respect you. No matter what form or fashion of American you are beneath them. You are a Gentile to these people. They do not respect you at all. That's what you need to understand. They're going to treat all of y'all like y'all been treating black people. They're going to treat all of y'all like y'all been treating Mexican people. They're going to treat all of y'all like y'all been treating Native American people. It's coming. Y'all going to be treated so bad, and your government's going to be funding it. If y'all keep on this damn path, y'all going to really find out who's important and who's not. Y'all going to really find out who's supreme and who's not. The Carolinas are the true north for all of y'all. For the rest of us, it's Palestine. We're seeing it. The proof is already in front of you, and I hope that I communicated well enough, because I know I misspoke a couple times. But I hope I communicated well enough what it is I see coming, just like I hope I communicated well enough what I saw leading up to this. We can't let this go on. I'm trying to tell y'all, they are not better than you. Nobody's better than anybody else. But that they believe this in their heart of hearts is one of the most dangerous things for our modern times, man. That they believe this, and that they have the government believing that it's okay to enforce that with our neighbors and our army, more or less. And they got the Arab nations with them in a lot of cases. So even if America gets a backbone, it don't mean you ain't gonna be at a world war, because Israel has a lot of people, a lot of countries underneath their damn thumb. We just happen to be the biggest one. But they got a lot of Arab nations believing them too. You think they're going to give you what it is that they told you they're going to give you, Arab nations? Think about it. What are they doing? What are they showing you? It's the same thing I got to say to the government of this country. What are these people showing you? One of the things I said when I first started this channel is don't just pay attention to how people treat you. Pay attention to how they treat others. If they're treating them bad, then they're just waiting for the right opportunity to treat you bad. It just ain't in their best interest to treat you bad right now. But who they are is shown in those actions. So if they're killing kids and dancing around, and they don't think nothing of the Palestinians, what points them at the Palestinians is the fact they want their land. They don't give a shit about the Palestinians more than they care about anybody else. It's just that the Palestinians would dare defend themselves against their slaughtering intentions, which made them viciously hate and fear the Palestinians. So therefore, they got to wipe them all out and do it in the most despicable ways. Because that's how their minds are wired. Got to do the worst thing to them ever. So that not only they know, but everybody know not to mess with us, because we're the victims. We're the most dangerous victims of all time. We're the most aggressive victims ever known to man. We wear our victimhood on our sleeve, and we dare anybody not to be our victims in response to what has happened to us. Like, that's how they move it. And if they want to take over your land and you buck them too, they're going to do the same thing to you that they did to these people. They don't care about nobody, fam. That's the point. Everybody's underneath them. Just like y'all treated us in this country, just like whites treated us in America, is how they treat the rest of the world. And the fact that this government doesn't have a backbone to stand up to that is why they have the ability to enforce it. So they come into a neighborhood near you, they come into a country near you, you're gonna have to live under that damn star just like everybody else is eventually, if nobody stands up to this nonsense and finds a way to revolt in a very effective way. And best believe, for every time you do something, they're gonna do something else. That's just how that works. That's why I would tell Iran, like, don't think for 1 second just because you didn't bomb the hell out of them that they ain't gonna turn around and kill a bunch of kids. They bombed an orphanage in response to you bombing them because they know what matters to you. They know you can engage in a fight with them, but you hate when they hurt children. You hate when they bomb orphanages. You hate when they hurt innocent people, so they're gonna get you in the heart. They're not trying to defend themselves against you, more so to demoralize you, if anything. They look to demoralize. That's their intention. So that you feel like it's no use in fighting them. You gotta be prepared for that. And I tell my army, my generals, everybody who's the Marines, all of y'all, they can't do this without you. There's no way they do any of this without you. Because if they end up doing the wrong thing and make you turn on them, the world implodes upon them and they don't last a month after that. They need America. I don't know why our government seems to think that individually they need Israel, but I can tell you Israel most definitely needs America. They need your army, they need your funding. They need your compliance. They got to be able to rely upon you. This is a fact. They're showing that too. Just like they're showing us they're liars, they're showing us they need us. Some people aren't afraid to tell the truth, man. We don't care, bro. We smart enough and wise enough to understand that you're going to kill us anyway. That's the point. I already know. Me standing still is going to make it so that you end up pointing that nonsense at us sooner or later. This is our defense. Standing up to it is your defense. Your best bet is to fight. It ain't to comply. Because as soon as they have your full compliance, you lose all their respect. And if you lose all their respect, then they're just waiting for an opportunity to turn that evil toward you. It's world domination. They don't want nobody on earth but them. I'm telling y'all, man. It ain't no different than Hitler. None. Ain't no different than Hitler. The difference is Hitler didn't have support from all the factions of the world that ultimately had the most money and the most power. These guys do. So it's going to take people in these places standing up against them, willing to live, willing to die for these causes, willing to organize against these people who ultimately mean to organize against you all, literally. And it's going to take intelligent people who are able to change the minds of those inside of those arenas within their factions so that they can have some infighting within those factions that ultimately the good side wins. And that's how it's going to have to be. It's going to be Israelis that turn on Israelis. It's going to be Zionists that turn on Zionists. That's how God is going to do this. I'm telling you. But if we don't get smart enough, we don't get to spark the minds within them that are going to say, yeah, that makes sense. That would ultimately start that process up. It's going to take outside sources reaching inside sources in order for that process to even be possible. This is not the time to think, well, my vote is, if I vote for the right president, then we're going to be fine. I promise you, you're not. This is proven to us 10 times over. Israel owns both factions of your government. Both sides. They got them both, man. The Democrats and Republicans are both completely and utterly compromised. It is not hearsay. This is a fact. They're not even really hiding it. They just know you're not going to check the places where that information is found. They're not hiding it. Israel is your God until further notice. Unless you want to act like you know better than to trust some idol. And mind you, they hate religion that isn't their own. They hate Jesus Christ a lot. They hate Allah a lot. They don't mess with neither one of them. So if they get control of your country in a way that they can impose their religious intentions upon you, they're going to make it illegal to be Christian. They're going to make it illegal to be Muslim. They're going to make it illegal to be anything other than Jewish. That's where this is headed. I'm telling y'all, you're going to have to speak Hebrew to get a job. You have to learn that. They're going to teach your kids that. Y'all don't see it coming. I'm telling you, this is how they operate. They're showing us how they operate. They're showing us what their beliefs are and how they impose those beliefs on others. They're showing you. You ain't got to look too far. They're doing it. They've already begun to show you what they're about. And I tell you right now, I was thinking about this morning. I've said this on this camera once before. You go around terrorizing children, and you're going to have somebody in me that is your enemy. Period. I was an unsafe child. I felt deep fear and not having the support necessary to get me out of those circumstances before the harm hit. I've already been there in my own life. Not nearly as bad as the Palestinian children, not even close. But I've been through something enough to where I'm going to weaponize my entire existence against those who hurt children. You can't hurt children around me. I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure you don't. That's my attitude. And I see it, whether you're a human being or an entire government or a false god, whatever you are, I don't fear you. And I believe in myself as it pertains to my ability to convince others not to fear you as well. You got to understand that. Israel has a lifelong enemy off the strength of that alone. Everything else they do, I care a lot about. But that they did this to these children, I'm going to always be a weapon against that energy. No matter who's holding that weapon themselves, you're going to have somebody coming at you. They should have left the kids alone. They really should have. They should have really did that. I'm just telling y'all the truth. Why I'm so intentional on telling the truth is not just because I care so much about this colonial project named America. Personally, I think a good portion of America needs to be humbled by something like this. But they should have never weaponized themselves against children. They should have never did that. They should have never did that. They should have never let my eyes see a child with his head crushed or without his head. So many unalive babies I've seen over the last year, I'm never going to let up on them. I'm never going to want anything they have. I don't care how many people agree with him. I don't care how many countries agree with him. I don't care how many different ways they can threaten me. I don't care about none of that. I crash completely out. And that's exactly what you've been seeing over the last year as I've been communicating this channel. Me crashing out in this way. I don't care. I really don't care. I'd die today to bring one of those children back. And they killed how many? I will not take my foot off of them at all. And I don't care that they justify it. I don't care that they see it the way they're supposed to see it. They think these people are going to grow up to be terrorists or what. I don't give a damn about none of that. I don't care. I know you don't know what comes of this as it pertains to those children. I know you don't know what they're going to grow up to be. Just because you're convinced does not mean you know. Just because you go so convinced that you're supposed to protect yourself, and the best way to do that is to wipe out the next generation, does not mean that people like myself are going to sit here and let it be done. I'm not going to do it. Not with the voice that I have, not with an opportunity that I have, not with the talents that I have. I'm not going to do it. I don't care how many people agree with you. I don't care how many government factions you own all over the world. I don't care. I want everybody who's on the side of that evil, baby-killing Zionist regime to understand where I'm coming from. I don't care, fam. I literally don't care. There are a lot of people who are going to be like, well, you know what I mean? It depends. Yeah, no. Y'all celebrating the death of children, man. You my enemy forever. Literally. And so that's what I want people to understand. I pray prayers every day that the Lord will use my voice to be successful in whatever it is his intentions are. I really do. And that's why I feel comfortable to say whatever comes to my mind without any filter. I've been cursing a little more lately. I think it's time for more urgency than it usually has been. At this point, we need more urgency. At this point, we need more people willing to say things that are going to get the ears of others. If it means I get silenced, so be it. It means I've said everything I need to say. You understand what I'm saying? I can't let that be a problem. BDL 44. I'll thank y'all for watching. Bye.